G'day punters, welcome to another edition of Greyhound Gold. My name's Brett Honey. Joining me, second week in a row, James Broadhurst. How are you?
Good, mate. Yeah, good to be on again. As mentioned last week, filling in for Shorty, out of play for the next month or so, but good to be here. Gee, finally got in a bit of form last week, which was nice.
On the golf course, or are you talking about?
No, on the punt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so...
The trumpets over here.
Well, mate, it doesn't happen often.
You might be able to finally afford to get me a Greyhounds WA button up.
No, that's
that's
not
on the way.
Not in the budget, mate. Sorry.
That's disappointing. But
you look good in the polo, mate. Bring the guns out.
Yeah, very much big guns. But we do have some big guns
we do.
To talk about. Before we get into the run of the weekend, our selections for the weekend, before we forget, best of luck to all the WA Greyhounds contesting the Queensland features on Thursday night. This is a not-to-be-missed card of Greyhound racing. JB, we got the likes of Weston Booney, Sage Tennille, and Flying Frida contesting the Queensland Cup. Weston Booney's a great price, by the way, around the $12 mark. And then, if I can remember all of these, Cannon Stark, Sunset Frazier, and Uncle Tommy.
Yeah.
In the Brisbane Cups.
It's an invasion, Brett.
Yes, well, it's been very kind to us, Albion Parks. We got 6 Greyhounds across 5 races there on Thursday night. So whilst we're watching Northern, we can tune into the Group 1 action there at Albion Park. Best of luck to all connections.
Question without notice, can Uncle Tommy do the Flying Amy Brisbane Cup double?
He's got I don't know if he can run the time of maybe some of the other Victorian dogs, but his chasing characteristics are going to take him a long way. He's got that early speed. Box 8 makes it very tricky in his heat. I know absolutely zero about the Greyhounds that he's up against, but hopefully we can see him spearing across and getting to the front. But if there was one WA Greyhound going back as Weston Booney, he's a crafty animal, and I think maybe the scenery might sharpen him up. So
okay. What about Sage, though?
Interesting. Now, the tricky thing, I think, for the WA dogs, that Flying Frida and Sage Tennille are boxed next to each other. Both those Greyhounds probably want the front with the Queensland Greyhound Vale Policetta, I think is the name, in that race. So those two might undo each other, I'm thinking. But, they are drawn the right side of each other, Flying Frida being a mid-tracker, so they'll give Sage Tennille some room. But fingers crossed we can get a couple through to those Group 1 finals the following week. Let's talk about Sage Tennille. Our run of the week was from the Paradise Street Trophy last Saturday night at Mandurah. It was Sage Tennille for Cody Charles. This has been a tremendous training performance to get this girl back up and running. Chloe Ant was the one who actually began best from the boxes. 90 Mile Rose was thereabout. You can see Sage Tennille mustering it around the bend. The key was that she ran a nice wide line, stayed out of trouble, heading into the back straight. Sage Tennille eventually gets to second and then takes over from Chloe Ant. That is when she went bang. Put 5 or 6 lengths on the chasing pack. We see Sunset Comanche get to the outside and starts to warm up at Sage Tennille. She put, as I said, 5 or 6 lengths on the back and she never looked in any danger. Sunset Comanche was a really good performance running on into second, but it was all about Sage Tennille winning by just under 8 lengths in track record time. Sunset Comanche running second. Chloe Ant was a nice run for third. The sectionals on this, JB, 14.28, 25.15, 11.62 run home, 36.77, lowering her track record by a tenth from the week before. I didn't know it was going to be Sage Tennille who would be running these track records. We thought with more city racing happening at Mandurah across this winter that we would see some of these track records reduced. But this has been a stunning run of form from Sage Tennille. Obviously takes her show on the road now. But regardless of what happens, we can just admire what she did last Saturday night.
Fantastic effort. Not often a dog will go back-to-back with track records. Admittedly, the 652 would not as many races down there over that distance, but still a great performance. And yeah, like you say, Troy, gee, that's on the Wednesday preview. I bet we missed him yesterday. Brett goes in with a lot of momentum over this campaign over in the Sunshine State.
And confidence, because she had to do a little bit of work to find the lead, which may have been the knock with her going into that. So, she's flying Sage Tennille, and she is ready to do her best this Thursday night at Albion Park. What have you got for us by way of bets on Friday night for us, JB?
Yeah, best bet heading towards the feature race, the Winter Sprint Final. Do like this race, but there's a dog that I like in this a lot to win it. So this is race 8, number 3, Sunset Hornet. Sticking with her.
Flying.
She's won for me the past 2 starts. She's just so clean. out of the traps, isn't she? I can make a case for her just jumping the front and going on with it. That's what she's been doing the past month or so. If she does happen to do that, there's probably only one dog that's any chance of running her down, and even he would struggle, Barbecue Man, if he would need a clean run through to be able to achieve that. So, lot of things stacked in Sunset Hornet's favour here if she jumps, which she has been jumping very reliably of late. So best bet, race 8, number 3, Sunset Hornet. For value, heading towards race 7, number 2, Steel Girl. Good race, this one. I'm going against Unleashed Mayhem, which is jumping out of box 1 here. Not with a lot of confidence. I do like Unleashed Mayhem. Hard to dislike that dog at the moment, the way she has been performing. But I like Steel Girl as well here, and going to be an interesting battle.
You're making a really convincing case here.
Well, I think it's an interesting battle between these two. The early speed battle is going to be vital to the result of this one. If Steel Girl is able to get her nose in front and edge out Unleashed Mayhem here, she can definitely go on and win this one. Plus, Brett, there's a lot of other dogs that might draw some money in this race, not least of which is Sunset Tyson out wide. So we might get the price for Steel Girl in this one.
There we go. A few greyhounds, price and reputation. I mean, JB's getting a bigger price on Friday night. My best bet, race 9, number 1, Weston Astro. Beat Wisebarrow fair and square last start. Now, Weston Astro has box 1 here. Wisebarrow has box 2. Wisebarrow typically likes to use a bit of the track, which means that Weston Astro is going to get all the room in the world. Wisebarrow's got, much like some of those greyhounds in your race, JB, she's going to command a very short quote, which means we will get a pretty half-decent price here about Weston Astro, and I think she'll go on with it. So race 9, number 1, Weston Astro. For a bit of value, I'm going to the winter sprint. Race 8, number 5, Bungee Man. Now,
I thought you learnt your lesson last week, mate, when you took me on, but clearly not.
When did I take you on last week?
With Disco Daisy v My Anarchy Boy.
Yes.
But I guess not. Guess not.
We'll
you
keep
just
going.
completely blanked that.
I'm trying to find some value for the punters out there. You could, because Bungee Man, $4.40 a place.
Okay, good.
So you could actually, if you like Sunset Hornet, you could back Hornet for a win, and then
Bungee
Man
for a
place.
This theory.
There you go. But no, look, if I was betting $10 on this race, JB, I'll be having maybe $1 or $2 on the win and $8 or $9 on the place here. He's going to need a lot of luck to win, but he's a greyhound that will be naturally stronger at 400 metres. I really liked the run last week, and in defeat he went around 22.31, which was 0.2 quicker than a Little Bit Twisted, who had every conceivable chance and was untouched through the run. So I think the run stacks up really well. If he can find the fence here, and with so much speed in this race, I don't think he's going to get involved in the early speed battle. I think he's going to find the rail at some point. Some of these will need the arm to win, so I just think he can get to the rail here, and I think there'll be enough traffic here for him to run on into a place, and if there's not a clean leader, well, he might get the Bradbury run or something like that, but very much more so keen from a place perspective. Place heavy for Bungee Man. Race 8, number 5 to go. Race 9, number 1 on Friday night. Let's turn our attention to Saturday night racing. No features, but there's some really interesting races on the card. What have you got for us? Heading
towards race 10, number 2, Sunset Comanche. Hits a small field. He doesn't have to chase down Sage Tennille, getting track record times in front of him. So I think he just goes on and wins this one. Race 10 at number 2, Sunset Comanche. And for value play, race 1, number 4, Better Call. This is in a maiden over the 488 metre journey. Hard for me to believe this dog hasn't won their maiden as yet, have been thereabouts. Not quick early, that is his drawback, but certainly will be coming late. Not sure what sort of price you'll get about him, but I expect him to be up there again in this race, so I'm happy to go with him whatever price he comes out. Unless he's like ridiculously short. Unless he's ridiculously short. Brett,
any old price. Any old price for
race
JB.
1, number 4, Better Call. check the market before you place your investment.
Gamble responsibly.
And gamble responsibly.
My best bet, race 11, number 2, Pepper Grinder. I was around that $2.45 mark with Tab Touch. I really liked the run last start at Northern. Was unlucky just to get nabbed on the post by Warm Regards. Comes back to Mandra. This is a 5-dog field. Pepper Grinder is far better than the opposition here. I just expect Pepper Grinder to be handling business. Race 11, number 2, Pepper Grinder. I think that'd be my first ever collector with 652 if Pepper Grinder won. I can't work out that distance, but I think Pepper Grinder will get me back on track.
That would be a red letter performance
Saturday
if
night.
Pepper Grinder
it
would
would.
get you
It'd
up
be
there.
a watershed moment. For a bit of value, race 5, number 8.
One for the record.
Yeah, one for the record. Where were you moment? Race 5, number 8, Molfetta Cruise, around that $6 mark. This is a cracking field, JB. But I think at Mandra, Molfetta Cruise is right up to these greyhounds. He just absolutely loves the joint. He's drawn where he wants to be, which is wide. A lot of unknowns here. You got Sunset Mirage in box 1 who wants to push up the track. Now that might lend itself to my Nicky Boy getting that gun run, but there's a lot that has to go right in that first 20 or 30 metres. You got the likes of Hinto and Custom Minelli trying to get over. Carl Laxer right. It just looks very messy on the inside. I want no part of that.
Okay.
And I'm going to go to the outside. I think Molfetta Cruz, only real issue out there is going to be Disco Daisy. But if Disco Daisy led and he sort of got there, I think that he'd be far too strong. He's run down dogs. He's run down good dogs in the past over this track and distance. So I think he's going to be up into this the whole way, and he'll be there when the whips are cracking late. Race 5, number 8, Molfetta Cruz to go. Race 11, number 2, Pepper Grinder.
Good race, that one, isn't it? I reckon also that's the first time that my Nicky Boy and Hinto have met in a race. Would that be correct?
That's an interesting point. I think it's tricky. Mikey Boy's an attractive price as well, because if Sunset Mirage begins really well, then I think that rail could open up for Mikey Boy and it'd probably be curtains from there. But in the search for value, I will stick with Molfetta Cruz.
Yeah.
Because he is boxed where he wants to be. His only issue is Disco Daisy. So really fascinating affair there on Saturday night, JB. So plenty to look forward to this weekend. The winter sprint on Friday. The restaurant at Mandra, Chase's Restaurant, is open both Friday and Saturday nights. Absolutely pumping. I did see on some of the photos a bit of a bigger crowd on Saturday night, so word's getting out there. So wherever you are in WA, you do have an opportunity to get down to the Peel region and get your Greyhound fix this weekend. But if you can't do that, JB, you can tune in this time next week for another big edition of Greyhound Gold.